Hey, what hell? Welcome to Monday. Welcome to Countdown Day. And would you believe that we have never done the top 10 best G1 Transformers figures released based on fan votes? We've never done it. Of all the topics we've done, one that seems so basic, and we've never done it. So based on fan votes today, this will be the top 10 G1 Transformers in the latest GotBot Countdown. Hey, what hell? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe. And while you're at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. Helps me out a ton to let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below. Also in the description down below, and if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. Now, we have previously done the top 10 G1 Transformers characters, as in fiction, right? From fiction. But we've never done the top 10 G1 figures that were released. And a couple of people asked, hey, how far up does G1 go, like, you know, in terms of your ability to accept? Like, is it just like, you know, North American G1? I was like, no, man, it's everything. If you want to pick something from Japanese G1, if you want to pick something from UK, you know, the Marvel UK comic series that went on a lot longer and stuff, you can do that. You could do it from anything that is identified as G1, which kept it very broad and open. And most people were really good about the voting this time. I really appreciate it. I've also started adding one person, one vote. I don't think I should have to add that in the blurb at the top. I feel like that should just be common sense, that one person gets one vote. That's the only way to be fair. But I've added it in there because a lot of people don't. It was fast and furious voting. Some people did say, oh, it's a hard choice between this and that. And I said, you don't need to tell me it's a hard choice. Just pick one. I only need your final pick. I don't need to know your thinking process. And I'm not going to count two. Some people tried to count something like Blaster in his cassettes or Soundwave in his cassettes. No, each of those characters would get a separate vote. Some people like gave me one and then said like 4 or 5, you know, honorable mentions. I don't need the honorable mentions. They'll work themselves out with the votes. I just need your one vote. And most people, when I point out this to them, are really good about it and come back and say sorry, and they'll give me what their one vote is. But then every now and again, you get a guy like Jason B, and I pointed out to him, and all he came back with was, whatever, dude. What are you, 12? So if you're going to be rude to me, I promise you I'm going to be 10 times ruder to you. If you can't follow the same rules and make it fair for everyone, then don't participate. If you can't respect how much time it takes me to do this personally, and that these sort of things are just like a distraction, then don't participate. It's not hard. And if you can't read the both on the picture for the countdown and up in the thing where it says this week's top 10 countdown question is, because people will say, oh, I didn't know it was a countdown. How do you not know? Like, did you even look at it? Then don't participate. But if it's pointed out to you, at least be respectful about it. But if you're not going to be, don't expect me to be. There you go. Luckily, that's not the norm. And luckily, we had a great turnout and a great competition this time around with one honorable mention. And that honorable mention is, believe it or not, G1 Megatron. Almost made the list, but never quite got there. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to do as we always do. And we're going to kick things off with number 10 first. Kicking us off at number 10, we have this Powermaster Optimus Prime. And I'm sorry, I'm going to tell you now, I don't have any G1 figures anymore. I know I like the main line, I like modern, so I don't have them, so I'm going to have to use the pictures. Bear with me. But Powermaster Optimus Prime took number 10, and not for nothing, the Takara God Ginrai had one vote. I thought he would have had a lot more, but I guess more people just know the Powermaster Optimus Prime version. If you're wondering the difference, the Japanese version had extendable arms so that you could put God Bomber onto Powermaster Optimus Prime. The North American version did not have that. Nevertheless, Like many people, this was their Optimus Prime. He was still the cab, he was still the trailer. The trailer could turn to a base, the trailer could make Optimus huge and big, and not for nothing, I always felt like the heads, or at least the face sculpt, was very cartoon accurate, except for the red eyes. I love that he came with a bunch of blasters. It looked like Optimus, it felt like Optimus, both the small and the big, and it was a big chunky leader. It felt like a leader of the Autobots. And for somebody like myself, who broke the legs off of their G1 Optimus Prime, Powermaster Optimus Prime was a blessing. And I still adore him to this day, as I'm sure you do, as many voters do, and he took the number 10 slot. Coming in at number 9, we have this, Tryptocon. Those that voted for him almost unanimously said, dude's a cool ship, dude's a neat base for your Decepticons, but it's a walking dinosaur that, because of the mechanisms, could walk by himself. A giant walking dinosaur? That's a Decepticon? What's not to love? Tryptocon takes the number 9 slot. Coming in at number 8, we have this guy, Six Shot. And those that voted for Six Shot said, look, I mean, the dude was almost endless to explore when you got him. One voter said, man, it took me like a week to figure out all of his modes and transformations. And that's what was fun about it. It took so long to figure everything out because he had, well, 6 modes. A great bot. 6 modes. Big, chunky, hefty. All the modes were cool, even if somewhat Cybertronian or stylized. And the robot was a big, burly robot that really helped fill out your Decepticon ranks. I get it. Six Shot takes the number 8 spot. Coming in at number 7 is this guy. It's Grimlock. And you know what? What's not to love? In Dino mode, Grimlock, was a great little dino. His legs could go forward and back. The mouth opened and closed to scream. I think even the little arms moved, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that, though. And he had a seat in the back that none of us ever knew what it was for because way back in the 80s, a lot of us just didn't know that Diaclone existed or was a thing. The information age really changed that, right? But when you would take Grimlock and transform him to robot mode, you could feel the heft and the chunk and the diecast in him. But once you would do that, like, he had decent articulation. Like, the arms could move. He had knees. I can't remember if he had hips or not. I think he did, though. So, like, there was a lot he could do rather than just be a G1 brick. Yeah, Grimlock takes the number 7 slot. Coming in at number 6, we have one of my favorites, this guy, Metroplex. Yeah, I knew one guy who had Metroplex. He was younger than me, and I only ever fiddled with G1 Metroplex one time. Those that voted for him said he was great. Too bad he wasn't bigger, but he was great. You could attach the combiner torsos in their base mode to him. And some people said you could attach the actual combiner limbs to him. I don't know if that's true. They said besides that, he was his own city. He had his own little bots and minions and stuff. He had all kinds of blasters and accessories. And he was even a neat little rolling platform ship, I don't know, aircraft carrier thing. I think it's called like a transport or something, like an Autobot transport or something. But yes, any way you cut it, Metroplex, any of his modes, all the way back to G1, he was a chunky bot. He was fun. He was big. He was bad. He was burly, and he takes the number 7 slot. I said 7, but I meant 6. Doesn't matter right now, though, does it? Because now a hush has fallen over the crowd because we have reached the ever-coveted, ever-popular halfway mark. And at the halfway mark today, we have one of my favorites, and I bet you one of yours, with this guy. It's Shockwave. What can we say about this? The lights and sound added to him. Whether you were using him in robot mode and his hand and stuff lit up, or whether you had him in the big laser blaster and you were doing the various laser blaster sounds. The transformation was mostly elegant for the most part, and in terms of articulation, the arms had a fair range to them, certainly with elbows with nice ratchets, and I think the dude had a nice little bit of a knee. Not super deep, but a little bit of a one. He always felt like a threat, and when you saw him rumbling onto your, playground battlefield, sandbox battlefield, you knew that things were going to get rough for the Autobots because he was bigger than most of them. And if you wanted to put him into laser blaster mode for a good game of, I don't know, Space Heroes, and use him as your blaster, you could do that too. Shockwave, lights, sound, heft, bulk, transformation, laser gun mode, all of it. Takes the number 5 slot. Coming in at number 4 is still a fan favorite to this day with this guy. Fort Max. In fact, a lot of people prefer the original because of all of the gimmicks and stuff to it with the little jail and all of the little ramps and whatnot. He also, of course, has the Headmaster unit. He also has respectable articulation for the time and kind of a brilliant, chunky, solid transformation mode. A lot of people prefer it over the Titan's Return for those reasons. We know that there is a 29-inch version from Big Mac Toys that is going to be coming as of this countdown. And it harkens a lot back to the G1 Lad. A lot of people that voted for this guy said, I have to vote for the holy grail of my collection, Fort Max. Yeah, I get it. Even all that time ago, he was the biggest bot at still about 2 feet. And he was awe-inspiring. And he takes the number 4 slot. Into the top 3, and at number 3, we have this. Jetfire, yeah. The Siege one with all of his battle armor on really harkens to this well. I can remember when the Robotech stuff came out, and there was a plane, I can't remember what it's called, Valkyrie, is that what it's called? I can't remember what it's called now. And I got it, and then I realized it doesn't transform, and I was so disappointed. I only ever saw G1 Jetfire once in store in his box, and I was enamored. I never got it, but I was enamored with his size, with his look. Those that have him all these years later still say he's a beautiful, wonderful bot. I've heard that he has some fragility to him, especially his arms. I don't know if there's any truth to that, because I've never handled it. But I've always salivated over it, and enough fans adore it that it was able to take the number 3 slot. And here we are into the top 2, and these are separated by, get this, 5 votes. At number 2, we have this. That's right, Optimus Prime, the G1 Optimus Prime. Not the Powermaster, he was number 10. But G1 Optimus Prime, everybody said the same thing. Look, you had a really cool truck, if you like transport trucks, which I did. I'm sure you probably did too. You had a bot that, he had knees, he had elbows, he even had a swivel at the elbow. Because the hands plugged in, you had a rotation at the wrist. It had decent articulation, and the shoulder could go all the way around. It had decent articulation for the time. In fact, when the missing link was done, it was easy because Optimus already had some great articulation. Plus, you had his trailer that could become like a base. Plus, you had Roller that could be like his own little support bot. The play pattern continued on and on. Optimus had so much to offer, and he takes the number 2 slot. And now here we are, very tippy top number 1. And number 1 is this guy, Soundwave. And those that voted for Soundwave said he was a big bot, so he helped fill out the Decepticon ranks. They said he had a great transformation to get in that, chunky cassette player mode, micro cassette player mode. I found out recently that he wasn't a regular cassette player. He was meant to be a micro cassette player. Who knew? Nevertheless, he would turn into that, and that felt good and chunky and solid in your hand because of the die-cast as well. Plus, you had all those minions, the play pattern of it being able to put the cassettes in his chest and have his own little personal army was great. Those that noted that, though, also noted that they weren't voting for the cassettes. They were just voting for him because of the play pattern with the cassettes. So I said, cool, that's great. Because like I said, each of the other cassettes, they could be their own votes of their own characters, right? And their own releases. I'm sure there were people out there that had some of the cassettes and didn't have a Soundwave. That must have been heartbreaking. If you had one, how could you not have the other, right? But yeah, Soundwave. Play pattern, bulk, heft, cool robot takes the number 1 slot.
And there we have it.
You just heard Starscream Wife. And there we have it. We've gone from 10 down to 1 once again. Other ones that had votes, Laserbeak, Ravage, Rumble. That's why I said they had to be counted separately. Buzzsaw, Overlord, Roadbuster. Man, I love Roadbuster. The original Cliffjumper, Starscream, Menasor. A couple of people tried to vote for modern stuff, like Studio Series stuff and whatnot. I'm like, no, it's G1 releases. It's G1. Devastator. I allowed that to count as one because they said not the Constructicons, the combined Devastator. Same with Bruticus, Menasor, and Predaking. Not the individual groups, the combined mode and the effectiveness of their combiner mode. Cup, Prowl, Snapdragon, because of both being a Headmaster and a Triple Changer. Power Glide. One of the few that had elbows is what the person said that voted for him. Grapple, Cyclonus, I loved. Scorponok, of course, being a base as well, much like Tryptocon. Trailbreaker had some votes. Slugslinger. Kickback. Omega Supreme. He might have been mine. I loved G1 Omega Supreme. Hot Rod. Magnus. Victory Saber. There's an interesting one. Thunder Clash. Who else here? Astro Train, Brainstorm, Shore Shot, Perceptor, and Punch, Counterpunch, and even more. What a great round of voting. Yeah, so let me know if your favorites made the list. Was the honorable mention, made it at the end. You know what I'm going to say. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. And if you are in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring or course. Hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you are at it, hit the subscribe button. Stick around. Have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget, not for a moment, not for a second, that you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit. Either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old-fashioned way right here inside the videos.